You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show.
That song never gets old.
Love it.
Love it. Welcome, everyone, to our Pretty Little Liars After Show. I'm Stephanie Wenger.
I'm Sarah Jarrell. Hey guys, it's Emma Kay.
And we are missing Kelly and Francisco tonight, but they'll be back next week. And we're so lucky to have Sarah.
I'm visiting today.
GG.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing to have you. We're, of course, Season 5, Episode 3, titled Surfing the Aftershocks, after kind of the funeral and everything going down with Allie's mother. So much in this episode tonight. What did you girls think? Were you happy with the episode? Did you want more revealed? You were kind of saying off camera that you wanted this season answers.
Well, definitely. I think we're in season 5, and we already know we have season 6 and 7 already in the process. So you're just wondering and thinking to yourself, okay, so how long is it going to drag out? When am I going to start getting answers? So I think season 5, it's pretty, it's about time for people to get some answers. And this episode gave us a lot more, even though it was indirect clues that they were giving us. I think a lot of us picked up on the major clues.
Absolutely. I felt like we kind of mentioned this in the weeks previous, that we thought, are they switching gears between the A and, Mona's army? And tonight I felt like we didn't see Mona's army, but we definitely got a sense that A is not gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to be the focus, and that's what people have been tweeting at me, at least for the last couple of weeks, is that the focus is going to remain on A and that we should put all our efforts into A. So I think that tonight that was definitely clear in the episode.
Definitely.
So want to jump into the story here and talk about this funeral with Hanna and getting Allie ready for the funeral, and how creepy was the dress choice.
So creepy. Very. And not a coincidence, may
Obviously.
I say.
No.
Do you guys think that she knew that and she did it on purpose to be weird and creepy? Or
Definitely. Allie doesn't do anything that's not calculated. So
yeah.
I think picking the dress that her mom wore to her funeral, is her alleged funeral, is, very symbolic of her knowing what really happened.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting because it's almost like she was peering in on the life she was missing in some way, because why would she choose that if she didn't know that it's a really odd choice to wear something of the person who's deceased to their funeral. That alone is a strange choice, and then to choose that specific dress. Pretty Little Liars doesn't make these sorts of things just random choices. It's always a very specific reason behind it. Also a little weird, I know you and I were talking at the beginning of the episode that we couldn't totally tell if it was
Hanna or Allie.
Hallie. Yes, exactly. Hallie. There you go. I said it. And it was like this weird thing, and I couldn't figure out why it was clear the camera angles they were choosing and the way she was laying in the bed, that they wanted us to wonder
who was who. And I think that became even more apparent closer to the end of the episode, when Allie said at the funeral home, she said, "It's becoming harder and harder to tell us apart," something like that.
Yeah. Really.
So that was all on purpose too, of course.
Yeah, and we see throughout the episode that Hanna, and I hate using this term, but she used to be known as Hefty Hanna.
Yeah. Rude.
Rude, exactly. A terrible thing, a high school, such a terrible nickname for someone. But that Mona attempted to make her cool, I guess, and to show her how to be fashionable and lose the weight and everything that you kind of, aspire to be, I guess, or some people aspire to be in high school. So it was an interesting point where Hanna now feels like she lost sight of herself, and is she becoming kind of the twin of Allie? Was that the point? Was that...
I think that was the point, and they were sort of talking about how now that Allie's gone, everyone has changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know if... I feel like Hannah's sad about it. Like, she misses the person that she was, the more wholesome...
Right, that's what I got from tonight, was that she wasn't totally happy with who she is now.
Well, because she was put under transformation by choice, but most of it was psychological. It wasn't the calculated moves that Allie usually does, and Mona just used the situation. Mona, used her as a fix-up project that, to make her look like Allie, because in a way, Mona still wants to be associated with Allie. Allie represents the cool girl, the popular girl in school, so she wanted to bring her friends, which one of them happened to be Hanna, to look like Allie, so that way she could get the popularity hanging out with Hanna at school. We had the whole hashtag tonight of, what was it, Cool Babes or something?
That was definitely one of the song lyrics tonight.
It was like Killer Babes or something.
Yeah. So, that scene walking down the hallway with the whole transformation and putting on Allie's clothes in in Hannah's room was so significant.
Yeah, and
they did look pretty though.
I was gonna say the cinematography in that moment where they were like,
it was a Mean Girls moment.
100%, totally channeled Mean Girls. I have to say though that Mona, it's becoming more and more clear to me, and maybe our viewers will disagree with me on this, that it is all about social status for her. Every decision she's making, we said Allie, has her ulterior motives, but for Hanna, I'm pretty sure that it's baselining at who's popular, what can I do to become popular, how can I get in the inner circle. Yeah, I just feel like that's becoming so clear in these episodes that she doesn't really have another intention. It's not to be friends with somebody, or there's not like a reason beyond that she wants to be considered that cool girl, an Allie replacement, if you will.
Yeah, and it's like, if she hated Allie so much, why would she take her advice and put it to use? Allie gave her a couple of good piece of advices before she went into hiding, and Mona used it to her advantage. And the only competition she has is Allie coming back.
Yeah.
Because then the spotlight is going to be taken away. She knows how strong in personality Allie is, so it's going to be difficult fighting Allie by herself, so which is why she has her whole army.
Not to jump into predictions, but I'm really excited to see what happens when Allie returns to those school hallways. I think that's going to be a big moment in Pretty Little Liars.
Mona even said, what do you think, it was more of a threat. She said, what do you think is going to happen when Allie comes back? She said that to Hanna.
Yeah,
I think she's more scared for herself.
Yeah,
she's just, trying to fish for clues, like, okay, what's gonna happen? Is she coming back? Like, is she gonna be home studies? Like, what is she doing? She wants to prepare her next attack or her next move.
It's gonna be a battle of the hot chicks for sure.
Yeah, do you think that Allie and Mona are actually going to individually battle it out, or are the girls going to stand behind Allie? Like, who are they going to take sides? Is that where this is going? Is it going to be a war of these girls?
I don't think there's going to be any war. Just seeing how the ending of this episode was, I don't really think there's going to be a war between Mona and Allie. I think we're all being played, and it makes me go back to the beginning of the season, or I should say, last season. When we got the flashback of Allie and how Mona helped her. So I really don't think Allie, I don't know, it's like, why would Hanna help Mona help her? And pick her up off the side of the street and
just to have a war with her,
help her, and keep her in hiding, and now she's like out to get her. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be more that Mona's hoping that Allie will like her this time around.
Yeah, maybe that she can get in the inner circle because she's helped her in some way.
Well, how do you know that she hasn't been part of Allie's team all along?
Exactly.
It's another. It's a great. That's a great.
There's so many different ways it could go.
I mean, amazing. Another thing that we should talk about is Arya and Ezra. That could go a million different ways at this point. Yeah, that couple. Just when you think they're done, they're not done at all.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. I mean, we are fans of Arya and Ezra. At least the two of us.
Well, I want them to stay friends so they could have focus. When they're in love, they lose sight of everything else around them. So
good point.
I think they're
Yeah.
better staying friends to help one another out. And I really have to applaud him for standing up this episode and really being there for Hanna. Not saying, "Oh my God, I want you back. Please take me back." But like, no, what can I do to help you?
Yeah.
So I thought that was great.
I appreciated the fact that he really wants to be honest with her. Allie comes and visits him in the episode, and he's just like, tell Arya. Like, he doesn't want these secrets. And that's what's causing all the kind of destruction in this town, is that there's so many secrets, and we'll get into some more secrets here in a few minutes. But I felt like for the first time, Ezra was kind of putting his cards on the table. And I hope that these are all his cards. We don't really know. But
well, we do. We know it's not all of it because
he even said,
Allie tells him, I know you have other clues and information that you're just not giving out. And he says, he would only do it to help out Arya. So what else does he know, or is he keeping that we still don't know? But I do like that he's starting off with the honesty. And it's hard to stand up to Allie, but he does it.
A rough road.
Remember last season when we were so freaked out by Ezra? He's completely different now. I didn't get that vibe.
Well, what's so funny is for the last season, and I think into these first few episodes of this season, you had the creepy music every time Ezra and Arya. It used to be like the romantic, sweet music, and now it became this like creepy, weird music. And tonight we didn't have that. It sounded like a normal.
We were being manipulated before. I knew Ezra was good this whole time. Okay.
I think knowing that Allie was alive all along, he probably had to, step really lightly around people, and especially the girls, to make sure he doesn't give off anything. He doesn't give out any clues. And knowing, Shauna was behind all of that, I'm sure that's a big secret he had to keep. And how do I protect Arya, but at the same time let her know without really letting her know that someone's after her or someone's after the girls?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting position to be in, but I felt like kind of why that creepy music was happening was because he was putting up this wall of lies, for lack of a better term, or a web of lies. And finally tonight we're seeing him go down, I guess, the path to honesty. There's obviously more that needs to be revealed, but I felt like he was trying to be upfront. And also, I have to give a shout out to Ian Harton. He did a great job tonight. Like, I think playing a gunshot victim is always I think that's a tough role.
Yeah.
And he did a good job with it, I felt like, tonight.
He did look crippled.
Yeah, it was rough.
I'm liking the mustache.
Yeah.
The hair,
he's like
facial
little
hair on
scruffy
him.
and
he doesn't look creepy.
disheveled.
No, he doesn't.
He looks real.
Yeah, like, he looks like he is going through like the rehab that it would take to,
Nice
get
cane,
back.
by the way.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. But I hope that relationship kind of continues down a path of honesty, and we don't see her keeping more secrets, because that's been kind of their downfall this entire time, is the secrets. Are we missing anything from their relationship? I feel like the reveal, of course, of that Arya finally reveals that she, of course, killed Shauna. And I loved the fact that he was just like, what can I do for you? It wasn't just like, we need to turn you into the police. Like, it was a very kind of sweet moment. Yeah, coupley moment, as much as you want their friendship. I feel like right now maybe they are better as friends.
It was done perfectly. Like, I mean, they didn't get like
lovey-dovey
about
yeah.
it. It was just like, like as a friend, like, how can I be there for you to help you out?
Yeah, I mean, because we saw her losing it in the last episode, and she seemed to have it a little more together tonight.
Definitely.
Yeah, like she was more composed, but I don't know if we're gonna see down the line her losing it over this. She killed someone. Like, there's no denying that, and so will she kind of struggle with it? And there's actually been predictions online about her possibly checking into Radley, which I think would be a very interesting turn, because that would mean that 2 out of 4 have been at Radley.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I don't want her to go to Radley.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case. But
then they'll drug her
up.
up.
Ezra and Rosewood would change the situation a little bit. But I'm concerned for the following episode coming up next week.
Mm-hmm.
We do get a little bit of insight, and she is really stressed, worried, and there's a lot going on with all the girls. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just you can't never tell with Pretty Little Liars what's going to happen next.
I feel like Arya is definitely the character that's most on a roller coaster right now. Or maybe we could argue that Allie as well is on a roller coaster. But yeah, with Arya, you see week to week her going up and down, and you kind of want to see her halt and figure it out for a second, or at least I do.
Do you think that's a red flag, a clue for us? Because the attention is on Arya.
It's interesting, because for a long time it felt like I think I've mentioned it in past episodes, wasn't really going after Arya as much as the other 3 girls. And now the attention seems to be on kind of Arya's mental state. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if will start to play with her in some way. Maybe that's a prediction.
Or it could all be a distraction and they're trying to keep us focused on Arya.
Because we constantly said, that Arya's gone less of the A threats than anyone else. So you just, kind of like wonder why. Is it because Ezra was involved? Like, what is the real answer behind that?
And I know we've talked about the multi-generational kind of idea that the parents could be part of this A team. And I still point my finger, I mentioned it last week, at Arya's dad. Could he be somebody who's involved in this? I don't know,
but I think we should be pointing our fingers to Mr. Hastings.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yes, absolutely. Let's jump into that.
Creepy.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Actually, before we jump into that, I want to hear everyone's predictions out there. So go on, rate, comment, let us know what you're thinking. iTunes, YouTube, we read it all. Also, you can tweet at us using PLLABTV. It's our own hashtag, and we definitely have been checking it and love reading all your theories. We've had several people actually tweet us their theories about the show and in-depth details of what's going to happen on the show, and I'm obsessed with reading it all. I show it to my friends who also watch the show, so definitely keep tweeting at us. And also, you should, while you're online, you can order Maria Menounos' new fitness book. It's phenomenal. I've read it, and it's so helpful, and she lost 40 pounds, and so if you're looking to be a little more fit for summer, it's definitely something to check out.
Woohoo. So while we're on Twitter, I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of our fans who have been tweeting us their theories, and this one I really like. It's from Joy at MissJoy8710, and she said, "I'm thinking Alison, quote, or twin, is working with Mona, but we can't take anything Pila gives for face value, LOL." We definitely agree, and you can never know what PLL is really doing. So definitely thank you for tweeting us and letting us know your theories, and all the regulars that we've mentioned last week. Yeah. Please keep on tweeting us. We read every single one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
We may not reply right away, but
exactly. we do read them, and I know Demi's Angel has sent me a bunch this week, so I wanted to give her a quick shout out because I always love reading everything that you're sending. So,
and also PLL Babes at CrazyPLL901. Thank you again for tweeting us and letting us know your theories. And
yeah, I mean, we can't get enough of it. We come in here right after we watch the show, and it's always fun to have what you guys are thinking and what you're feeling about the show. So definitely continue to do that. But let's jump into this crazy thing with Melissa and Spencer. I mean, I felt like this was a huge plot point of tonight's episode.
Definitely. Last week, Melissa spilled a secret to her dad, and we don't know what it is, but
yeah,
we can only imply.
Yeah,
we can guess what it is, and it's kind of obvious what it is, but we don't know for sure.
I feel like they're leading us to believe one thing, but it's going to be something different.
And while we're at it, I just quickly want to give a shout out to Crystal Brown at Crystal, aka CB, and she had a theory. She said Melissa, Jenna Wren, and Paige are working together. Mr. Hastings killed Miss De Laurentiis. Spencer and Melissa killed a girl in Allie's grave.
Ooh.
So with that said, I'm wondering if Spencer doesn't remember what happened and Melissa was
does.
a witness.
Yeah.
So my first instinct was, well, Melissa's the one that killed the girl, so that's why Mr. Hastings is trying to protect her. But towards the end, kind of like at the end of the episode, when he says the less she knows, what she doesn't know, basically she can't lie about.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is that it? Because she was on pills and she doesn't remember anything.
Or do you think Melissa could have killed the girl, and then since she knew that Spencer was all drugged out and wouldn't remember, she was like, oh, Spencer did it.
See, it's interesting that you're pointing the finger at Melissa, because I felt like it was her dad had done something
really
shady, and
that could be true
definitely
too.
Think he's involved somehow.
Right.
He's definitely killed someone. That's how I feel.
And I've said that since kind of like last season when Toby found the hockey stick in their backyard. So something is there. We just don't know what it is. He knows he's involved somehow, some way. I just don't know what.
Yeah, I just feel like the parents, recently, I've been starting to kind of suspect every parent for different reasons. It's interesting.
Spencer's parents are the most creepy to me, though.
And Jason, out of all the people, to tell Spencer that not to trust their dad, what does he know? Like, what has he encountered with him?
Yeah, maybe we should jump into that the unsent email of they were talking about that I can't protect you anymore. And so who do you think she was sending that to? Do you have any ideas on that?
I was thinking it could be Mr. Hastings.
Okay, Mr. Hastings.
I don't know.
I think the obvious one would be Mr. Hastings. But it makes me also wonder, why did Allie's dad take the laptop to Hannah's mom? Like, really, like, in this day and age, you can't figure out a laptop and what you're looking for. Like, it was kind of like, here's proof I want to hand over to you so you guys could find something, to make either the cops look in a different direction or, have it surface.
And that is the way that Pretty Little Liars works, is, again, everything's intentional on that show. It's not by chance that they couldn't figure out. I mentioned last week with the dog finding the grave in the yard. They introduced that dog just so it could find the grave. We did not see that dog again tonight. It's a continuous, I guess, the way that show's written, that nothing is by chance. So you make a very good point that computer, they wanted, I would assume, for them to find the evidence.
Yeah, so, the obvious one would be Mr. Hastings, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyone is a suspect until proven innocent.
How great would that be? Such a twist.
That would be a twist.
Well, we know Jason's out of the clear since he has an alibi, so that's one person down, at least we think.
Yeah, I feel like an alibi. Next week we should just have like a whiteboard here and we can just start crossing people out.
I was going to say we're very familiar with fake alibis, so we have to be cautious.
Yeah, exactly. We don't really know what's going on with Jason. Also, we should mention with Jason the fact that the girls go and try to figure out what he was doing to figure out that alibi and talk to that creepy man they encountered.
I think his name's Arnie or something.
Is it Arnie? Okay. in an earlier episode, and it was interesting that he was the one who confirmed that alibi.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, so we're taking everyone's opinion ground level. It was I was just like, oh, okay, so he saw him, so we're good now.
So it's good. We trust him.
Yeah, exactly. I was like
crackhead.
the person you ran away from in the last episode, you now trust as to give you a proper alibi. I just thought that was a very trusting moment, and generally Spencer is not.
Yeah.
It was Spencer and
it was Hanna and
Emily.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, so they might be a little more trusting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give that, because Spencer's the one who always seems to be the most questioning of everything.
Yeah, and I'm sure, you know, Jason knows he's being followed, so it doesn't hurt to pay someone off a couple of, you know, bucks just to have them tell another lie. So
yeah.
Who knows?
I feel like that guy would take money too.
Right? And you know what I want to do? One of our fans tweeted us a picture of, did you guys see the board of how everyone is connected and who has like made out with whom? And I'm like, oh my God, like we need to put that up on the screen, and that's what we need to analyze, because
it's amazing.
People, so thank you to Thomas Valentine Art at Tom Valentine for tweeting us and letting us see that. So I'm gonna bring it next week and put it up.
I know, and I mean, I asked for a flowchart, and it's literally just the most
perfect.
amazing thing that you could do. So that's awesome. But the show with Melissa and Spencer, I feel like that relationship, they've always had a weird sister relationship, but it's definitely getting uglier, and they might be the ones who are truly at war now.
Melissa is sassy.
Yeah. Ooh.
And what I didn't understand is, first of all, I took her comments direct to Spencer. Mm-hmm. But now looking back at it, I'm wondering if it was meant for Jason when she tells Spencer that where is it? That blood, regarding blood, she said it can also be very slippery.
Yeah.
So at first I thought she meant, you know, blood amongst them being sisters, but then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, was she talking about Jason?
Yeah.
Because Spencer seems to be defending Jason a lot, so she made now I'm retracting my thought and thinking maybe she made a reference to Jason, that it can also be slippery being related to him, so kind of like watch out.
Yeah. I also wondered about the secret, if that related to the secret later on. Is it a literal blood, not a
like murder blood
more than a familial blood? It's another thought. I don't know. Like, is there evidence that she's hiding? I am so curious about the secret that everyone's going to have to tweet at me, because I don't know. We don't know what it is yet, but I feel like I'm going to have to rewatch the episode in order to get all
did
the
Toby
details.
go all the way to London to find Melissa?
Yeah, that was
kind of weird.
It's a strange.
There's a lot of questions that's out there, and I think each week it's just getting that much more confusing.
100%. I feel like right now, at the beginning of the season, it's all about the questions. It's making more and more questions, and then as the season goes on, and this will take us through next year to do this, to figure out what the answers to that
Why can't they just tell us?
They're like, I need answers now. I think we all said that before we walked in here tonight.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And I'm also glad they're introducing a new character into
the Pretty Little
this
Liars
season,
world,
because we love the girls, but we also want to see new faces and new blood.
Exactly.
Being shed, so
it's a little more interesting.
I have to say, this new swimmer, Sydney. How do you feel about Sydney? Before we jump into her thing with Spencer, like, first introduction, we see her in the hallway on campus.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of a weird vibe off of her.
Yeah, I was like, is she working for Mona? What's going on? And then I was like, wait, maybe she's nice, but I couldn't tell if she had a crush on Emily or if she was just really envious and amazed by her swimming capabilities. I couldn't decide.
I think she was definitely playing her. And it was apparent when Paige jumped in. Paige didn't jump in because she was jealous. She jumped in because she knew what Sydney was doing, and she kind of like wanted to protect Emily and have her back off, because she said, you know, when they were at the lockers, oh, you know, she's on the swim team, I'll take care of it, like, don't worry about it. But I think it was more like, oh no, she's part of our army, so I'll take care of it, don't worry about it,
don't get involved.
Yeah, I do like the fact that Paige tries to protect Emily. A lot of the time you see her step in, whether her intentions are good or bad.
Yeah,
she does try to get in between what could be a bad situation for Emily. I feel like she's always there for her, and I really appreciate that.
I'm still stuck between that whole debate whether Paige is good or bad.
Yeah, me too.
And I can't tell. It's really... Today was really weird.
Yeah, it's a really hard line, I have to say, and I'm not sure what she's on, but she doesn't seem to let Emily take the fall in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's at least tonight you saw her try to get in between with Sydney. If Sydney is a bad character, we don't know yet if Sydney's good or bad. But I did feel like it was a little too convenient to be like, oh, I just saw the trophies.
Yeah, it was
Don't worry, just saw the trophies.
She knew.
Yeah.
It was definitely a setup, and I think they need new, fresh faces around the girls, because now they don't trust anyone, especially that they know.
Yeah.
So having someone come in new with no baggage and no association to them or to Allie that we know of might be an easier way in to the girls.
I agree. Yeah, it seems like this girl, we haven't seen the end of this character in terms of it. She's not going to be the sweet girl who comes in and is just like, oh,
complimentary.
I want to learn from you. Like, I'm a new swimmer. There's something else brewing there, and I don't know. I thought that was an interesting point you brought up, whether it was a crush on Emily. Like, that's another way it could go for sure. Or if it's something darker.
Kind of feeling the darker.
Yeah, I mean, when we discuss it, I lean towards darker.
Yeah.
I was a little more mixed.
Only
when I
because it's
in
Pretty
here.
Little Liars, and nothing's ever too innocent.
Yeah, I know. It does tend to go to the dark side.
Yeah.
And tying, you know, her swimming into the whole mix with this new girl is just, I don't know.
It's very convenient.
Yeah, I wondered if it was also what this is going to have kind of a side effect of. Is Emily going to somehow, I know she's injured with her shoulder, but find a way to be involved with the swim team again? Will she become a coach? Will she find a stroke she can swim? Like, is she done?
That's a good idea.
I almost feel like with this new girl that she could be like a private lesson instructor or something. That's sort of the direction they were going today.
Yeah, I was thinking that, or like an assistant coach for the team, because Paige is there and this new girl, and if the new girl is good enough at, I should not call her the new girl, Sydney. Is good enough at convincing Emily that she's a nice person, will she want to spend more time with the swim team?
I don't know if she's anything like her character in Carrie's Diaries. I'm really not sure.
I know, right? I'm
if
glad
they'll get along, but you know, I love how she's taking a different role, so that we think. I hope she doesn't turn out to be very similar in character to her other character.
I have to say,
I have a feeling they're going down that line.
I'm so glad you shouted that out, because it was the first thing I thought before I was like good or bad character. Carrie Diaries. Yes. I mean, for those of us who watch Carrie Diaries.
You already have like preconceived notions of her and how she is, so
you already know her, okay?
I'm just like, I'm thinking, I'm like, are they gonna bring the same character into PLL? It would be funny because it's the same setting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it felt organic having her in that school hallway because we saw her in Carrie Diaries there. But I hope that she has some other twist. And if Pretty Little Liars, the history of Pretty Little Liars tells us that she will have some other twist. She will not be the standard. I feel like...
no, she's definitely not standard.
No, there's something deeper there.
Maybe standard for Pretty Little Liars, but not.
Because she's like, you know, she's new, she got in, she's already, you know, having Emily watch her swim, counting her trophies, you know, getting into her personal life. It's just...
Yeah, that was actually the scene that I found so strange when they were trying to kind of skirt around their relationship. Paige and Emily, they were like, we were together in and out of the pool. And I was just like, you're saying this in such a like strange manner that I just wanted them to be like, yeah, we were in a relationship, or, you know, leave that out of if you don't want that included to Sydney. Like either way would have been okay. It felt so strange to be like, we saw a lot of each other in and out of the pool. Okay.
I'm like, what's in it for you?
Yeah.
Why do you care?
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't figure out why, if this girl just was interested in Emily's
they did that for a reason. That's why I was like, maybe she's a lesbian too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting
point. She was, in my opinion, she was testing Emily's loyalty to Paige. And which is why I think she's you know, confidant from A.
She's a little too in the know.
Yeah. So just to test out the waters, okay, you know, because Paige is not 100% in Mona's team. So they need motive. They need something, you know, to stir up the whole pot to get Paige and to get all the people on their team against the girls and against Allie.
Also, I feel like as a new girl, this is such a slight side note, but as the new girl, Sydney, you would never start questioning, like, the girl who is, you know, like a swim legend at your school on your first day. It felt like she was jumping into the deep end. I know that's such a pun. Sorry, guys. Good one. Yeah. So, but that's, you know, I just felt like she definitely wanted more answers and knew more than she should on her first day.
She was asking questions that she wouldn't have known to ask.
Right.
Well, then again, we have to also take into consideration the girls have been gone for a week that we know of.
Right, in New York.
And so she's from you. It might be our first time seeing her, but I don't think she's. It's her first day in school, so she's gotten to know, you know, the girls, even though they haven't been there, and their story. So now having seen Emily in the hallways, whatever that sparked, I don't know if it was, you know, sincere with the trophies, or she has other motives. She was starstruck, I guess.
The other thought that I had about her was, what do her parents do? Like, why is she in this town now? Like, what made her move? And maybe this is
I'm sure her parents are somewhere else. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Yeah, they don't even live there.
Oh, we won't be seeing them this season. It's fine. Like,
yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
But still, it could happen.
Yeah, like, I just felt like in Ravenswood, we saw how all these characters, their parents somehow related to them, you know, having all this, and I feel like Pretty Little Liars, we're going that direction, the multi-generational thing. I know you've mentioned a lot of times on the show. Feels like it's something. So hopefully maybe we will get to see Sydney's parents. You never know. But are you guys ready for some news and gossip?
Oh yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Sarah, do you want to kick us off?
I will. So, from HollywoodLife.com, I'm sure you guys have been following Lucy Hale in her music career. She performed at the Grand Ole Opry. People had some mixed feelings about her wardrobe choices.
I mean, I wish we had a picture of it, but you should...
I can describe it. It was a white leather tank-style dress, and then it had tiered, scalloped ruffles. Probably went, like, mid-calf.
Yeah, was she wearing boots with it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I think she could have used a shorter dress.
I feel like she was trying to embrace the
country life.
Country, and it is such an honor to perform there.
Yeah.
So I feel like she wanted it to be a big moment, and I heard the actual performance went great.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, props to her for owning that first performance there, because I know as a country artist, you go there a lot. So hopefully she'll get
you know
to
what? She did look beautiful.
Yeah.
But I would have gone shorter. That's just me.
I mean, I think she can rock a lot of things.
Definitely.
But yeah. So, and you have another one, I
just
think.
one more, yeah. Ashley Benson filed a restraining order against 49-year-old James Gordon Jr., who happened to be her ex-security guard.
At Warner Brothers, where they film, which is
Yeah.
so creepy.
Wow.
So creepy. He said that God told him to become sexually involved with her. Really freaking creepy.
Yeah, I mean, you hope that he gets the help he needs and that she, you know,
Stays safe.
Yeah, stays safe, obviously. Wishing her the
Definitely.
best. I mean, yeah, that's one of those scary situations that
Yeah.
that celebrities sometimes get into, and you just want them to resolve themselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, stay away from that. Also, we've mentioned before on the show that Pretty Little Liars always ranks at the top of shows that are most tweeted about. Nelson's Twitter ratings, of course, they're still atop of that. And the network, ABC Family, is learning more and more about what is making Pretty Little Liars so successful. I mean, obviously it's a great show, so we love it. But their marketing and publicity teams, I thought this was really interesting, are huddled together in a conference room and are tweeting live. I'm sure you all follow their official handle. And cast members and producers get involved week to week. So they're really making an effort to make it exciting on Twitter for fans. And I think
Definitely.
I think that that's a huge reason why they're so successful with it. That being said, if you want to tweet at us, we mentioned it earlier in the show, you can tweet at PLLABTV. So definitely we'll be looking for that hashtag and get involved, because how much fun. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really,
I like to hear what everyone else says, because we watch it together, so it's a little bit different. We have the same brain
scream,
flow.
Yeah, exactly. And we comment on things as we watch, so it can definitely kind of take you in one direction or another, for sure.
But, I also want to point out, with tweeting and also using our hashtag PLLABTV, you never know what celebrity guest off the show you might drive into the studio. By helping us trend PLLABTV.
Yeah, we definitely have some exciting ones coming up. So that being said, we also have a little information on who has been visiting the set of Pretty Little Liars.
Jinx, that was weird.
Guys are too cute. Sasha Obama, of course,
cute.
President Barack Obama's daughter, who's adorable, must be a big PLL fan because she visited the set, according to TMZ. And
lucky girl.
Yeah, her sister actually worked on Halle Berry's new sci-fi series, Extant. That's
pretty cool.
Yeah, so like getting involved in Hollywood a bit, and they were saying that the Secret Service was with Sasha, of course, at the Warner Brothers lot.
That'd be
I feel
crazy.
bad for anyone living in Burbank shutting down those streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, but I'm sure it's such an honor to have her. And so fun. I'm sure they got some good selfies going on.
They must have made a stop, because Obama did the graduation speech at UCI, so they must have taken a little tour.
Hopefully. Get around. Maybe they went to Universal. Who knows?
Yeah. Disneyland, come on.
Yeah, lots to do. And then also I have an interview with, of course, the executive producer, Marlene King. And we talked a lot about Arya and Ezra tonight, and kind of that their relationship seems to be at a crossroads in a lot of ways. But Marlene mentions that she considers them to be soulmates. She says, "We know that Ezra and Arya are soulmates. Whether they're romantically intertwined or not, those two are somehow always thrown into situations together."
Aww.
So it's not the end of, their I don't want to call it relationship, friendship, connection on the show.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be exciting to see where that relationship goes. With that being said, predictions?
Ooh. Not again.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Who wants to jump in first?
I think we made predictions all throughout the
Do a quick
episode.
recap.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to recap what I've said before and agree with a couple of our fans who have tweeted us and say that maybe it is Allie's twin working with Mona.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh.
I'm predicting that oh my god, Melissa is covering up for Spencer or something about the killing, and that's why they're trying to keep it a secret. But I also think Mr. Hastings killed Miss De Laurentiis.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Interesting. See, I'm going to go with an Arya and Ezra prediction coming off of my news and gossip, that I feel like Arya's going to start to trust Ezra again and kind of rebuild that relationship, and then he's going to disappoint her in some way, and it's all going to come crumbling.
It's the pattern.
Crumbling down. Yeah. It feels like that's...
Or do you think Allie will ruin it?
I mean, that's possible, but I feel like right now it's more likely that she has to figure out how to trust him again, and I feel like she's going in that way. Like, when she didn't want to see him, she saw him, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Are they going to fall into this trusting relationship, or is it all going to tumble away from them again?
I wish they would fall into a trusting relationship.
I know.
So satisfying.
Wishful thinking.
I know. We don't get that a lot on Pretty Little Liars, but I wish we did too. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we love your theories, as we've been saying this entire episode. So come back next week and hang out with us again. I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger, of course.
I'm Sarah Giroux, and you can find me on Twitter at SarahGGG and on Instagram at SarahKateGiroux.
And I could be found on Instagram and Twitter at RealEmmaK.
See you all next week.
Bye!
Bye!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.